I had to make sure that my bed was made, my room was clean, and everything was in order in my house before I left for work. So I really used to sometimes have the trembles and the shakes because it's like I had to have it done or I just could not. And then sometimes it causes you to be running late because it's like I couldn't leave if there was a dish in the sink or if the bed was not done. So I find myself getting up early in the morning and doing it over and over because if I did it, it was going to bother me. Even at work, I'm going to overthink about it. So if you could share with the audience, what was it for you that you find yourself doing something overly all the time and you're stressing over this? Do you clean a lot?
Mine was pretty much like yours. Mine was like the cleaning, making sure everything was in order, making sure my refrigerator was in order, making sure, and that's why I always tell anybody who struggles with being late, I'm always early because of that same reason. I get up very early just to do that. You know, out here in the South is a lot different. You're a lot more laid back now. I find myself lately falling back into those things. I tried to eliminate them. And mine was another one was collecting newspaper. Like, I don't buy newspapers anymore, which is some people were like, you don't read the newspaper? No, because I hoard them. You know, it's like information.
Oh, okay,
information.
Or magazines. You know how some people, they will collect magazines, like, you know. Yep. Okay, so go ahead. This is interesting to hear.
Mine was,
because I've never heard this about
mine. Yeah, I would hoard. Like, my sister would tell you, like, I would hoard newspaper. Anybody could come to me and ask me for a newspaper from 19 whatever. Like, you like, ask Phyllis got it. Like, you know, and people, and I like information. I don't know what it is with that, but I like to research. I will search something out until I find the answer. And it's like the cleaning, I'm trying not to get too deep into it, but even being physical with a man. Like, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, is he clean? Maybe I need to wash him myself. Certain things I will not do because of, you know, just like, it's my mouth, you know, or my body, you know, and I'm cleaning and scrubbing myself so much. You would think that somebody attacked me or something, but I just do it. It's like an obsession with me, with stuff being clean, stuff being in order. Since I've been out here, I'm going to be honest, my mind has been a little bit less to jump up and arrange the cabinets, which I did it the other day. I'm not going to lie. I didn't arrange it in order by order, but I did arrange it where it looks a certain way. And I know what it is. It's just this thinking now. Like, now all you have is yourself. And sometimes it does help to have someone in your corner that's going to tell you, you know, notice these things and don't judge you for it. I feel like I have to hide. Like, I feel like I'm hiding again. You know, so I'm just reevaluating myself right now to figure out what it is I'm going to do. What do I need to do for myself? Like, the steps that I need to take to improve myself. Because one thing that I feel like I would tell anybody, don't allow anyone or anything to disrupt your mental health. And I feel like I have done that often. You know, like, even when I came out here, I had a brush with someone. I'm not going to say no names, but I was dating someone who I found out wanted to be with other men. So now my trust, already I deal with trust, even though the person won't admit it. I deal with that, the trust issues. Knowing that before you got to worry about a woman. Nah, you got to worry about both. Right. You know, so it's like that. Like, what I would do with that, even when I came out here, I would clean. So cleaning keeps me sane. Like, cleaning, dusting, fixing something, making wig, braiding my hair. Like, I do a lot of things to try to keep my mind off a lot of things. So that's just pretty much, I have a lot of issues with the OCD, but I know where it comes from. It comes from me panicking. Like, I panic. Right. Like, once I start to panic about something, I color. Like, people are like, what are you buying? You can a coloring book and crayons? I would tell anybody, you would color. And I'm going to today I'm going to try and make a promise to myself that I'm going to get up and go walk. You know, I have anxiety sometimes. I don't want to yeah, I don't want to other people watching me or, like these damn dogs over here they got. I don't know some of them. So my thing was like, oh, they're going to try to run at me. So tomorrow I'm going to try my best to say, okay, so let's get up early before everybody's moving around and walk. Because I feel like
this is something that I wanted to mention to you that I'll share this website with those, and it's called iocds.org. And this is how is OCD treated. So treatment for most OCD patients should involve exposure and response prevention or medication. The majority of people, about 7 out of 10, will benefit from either medication or the ERP, which is exposure and response prevention. So what's the most effective treatment? Most effective treatment for OCD are cognitive behavior therapy, because your cognitive is going on and what's going on with your brain mentally. So when you go to like a behavioral therapist, more specifically, the most effective treatment are a type of CBT called exposure and response prevention, which has the strongest evidence supporting its use in the treatment of OCD, and or class of medications called serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SRI. Exposure response prevention is typically done by a licensed mental health professional, such as a psychologist, a social worker, or a mental health counselor in an outpatient setting. This means you visit the therapist's office at a set appointment time once a week, or you might do it a few times a week, and they pretty much will assist you with your journey on helping you manage your OCD. So finding a therapist who can diagnose and effectively treat your OCD is challenging, and it's challenging to many people. Some people say that between the ages of 14 to 17 years, that's when some of the symptoms start to set in. So hiding symptoms. Some people choose to hide their symptoms, often in fear of embarrassment, like you just mentioned. This causes many people with OCD to not seek help or a mental health provider. So not enough public awareness on OCD, which, you know what, I'd have to agree with that. You don't see much mentioned about OCD. People just pretty much shoo it off like, okay, she got a compulsion, she's got a disorder, she's obsessed with doing this like all the time. Well, that's a disorder. So finding yourself a very good therapist that could assist you and give you some techniques on how to guide yourself down a road where you're not going to conquer it, but you're going to have a better strategy on how to deal with it when you feel a trigger coming on. So these are things that you can talk to your healthcare professional about, but also do like Ms. Jones mentioned. Sometimes you might want to look up certain articles and understand about OCD and how it's being treated. Don't be afraid to take medication, guys. Not to say that you want to be a guinea pig, but be open to your doctor's advice about taking medication. You would learn a lot from a professional, because you're not the professional, but we always try to self-medicate ourselves. And somebody asked, can OCD be cured? Some people with OCD can be completely cured after a treatment. Others may say that they still have OCD, but they can enjoy a significant relief from their symptoms. Treatment typically employs both medication and a lifestyle change. And you know what? I have to admit, me going through some traumatic situations where I've always had to up and move and relocate, and then you go live with people, and, when you're sharing someone else's space, you can't do that compulsive picking up, putting things away, and then they can't find their own stuff, So I learned through travel and just trying to, you got to compromise with other people. That actually started helping me manage my OCD much better, to where I'm not overly obsessed about it. I don't catch an attitude if they put the jar in the wrong place in the fridge. because at one time it used to piss me off, I have to admit. Like, and it's something that you just have to learn how to manage and deal with anything that you're going through in life. You have anything else you wanted to share with the listeners that are listening, or any helpful tips too? Miss Jones? Is she still there?
Yeah, you can hear me because I had to come back outside. My phone. You can hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can hear
my
you
phone
now.
be going in and out. I'm in the country.
Okay, sorry.
It's cool. If you may be with somebody who's not as supportive as you would want them to be, because I think a lot of us are coupling right now and living with people that you usually go to work, usually not around each other as much. So you're getting to know somebody all over again. Don't lose the faith. Like, if all you got to do is call somebody you trust and talk about it, because everybody ain't gonna understand you, and it's hard too. What you were saying, I wanted to say one thing. We're calling a therapist and stuff right now. Right now, it's not really. It's hard to get appointments. It's hard to, but they do have things that they offer over the phone and, through the text.
Yeah.
And you can tell your doctor what your experience and stuff. So just don't be afraid and be ashamed, because I feel like shame is in not saying anything. The powerful will open their mouths and say something about how they feel. And there's no such thing as crazy. You're not crazy.
Right, and don't
you're
let
different.
others and don't let people insult you with saying you're crazy, because that's another thing that can really cripple a person's emotions when others poke fun at what you're going through. And like she was saying, like my doctor, I happen to be able to FaceTime my doctor. I can call her office, and they do answer, because they're actually working from home. Like the people that are answering the phone, they're working remotely. They're not in the actual clinic themselves, but they could schedule an appointment, and my doctor will call me, and we'll have a face-to-face, a FaceTime session, and she gives me some understanding on things, and she's also given me referrals, like for another psychiatrist that I'm going to make an appointment with, that, thankfully they're open to speaking to me on the phone. And so where there's a will, guys, there's a way. This is a tough time that we're all living in, dealing with COVID right now, not really knowing when it's going to end, how all of this is affecting us, and how we can cling together. If you just have two people that are your support system, then so be it. You don't have to allow so many in your life right now, but if you have a strong group of individuals that you can talk to, relay certain things to, then I would suggest do so. Doing this all by yourself alone, and you don't have to go through all of this. You're not in this alone. And if you had to share anything with some of our guests tonight before we end our show, what would you share with them?
Like about, I guess it would be the same. It would be just stay strong. Like, it's hard to tell people sometimes exactly what you want to say, like exactly what's on your mind for me sometimes, because it'd be everywhere at this point today. So, but I would tell anybody, I would just say, just stay strong. Like, don't let nobody try to make you feel bad for who you are. You're gonna go through things. You're gonna be stressed. You're gonna be sad. Go through your emotions, and if you have to close yourself off into a room, go ahead and do that. Let yourself be free. Like, don't worry about what anybody else think about you. And like I said, first thing you're going to hear from people, oh, you're crazy. She's crazy. Well, be the best crazy you could be. Get yourself some daggone help. Don't worry about what nobody else is going to say. Because like I said, crazy people don't go get help. They walk around butt naked in the street screaming and hollering. Okay?
Hey, I've seen some crazy videos lately. Like, there was one of a man, poor man. He was running through the streets and banging his head into cars. And, people were laughing at it. And some people, but you know what? When I stared at the video, I really took a second look. It was like, man, this person is going like full force, banging